Hello to everyone watching. As promised, I'm gonna do my second update now on this convict conditioning vlog. So it's been about a month since the last video and a whole heap of stuff has happened. So I'm going to take it like one little point at a time and I'll finish with the actual exercises. So the first thing is that I had this kind of crash with my diet about about a month ago where I sort of started to put on extra pounds that I didn't really want and got a bit bloated, and then I was eating a bit too much junk food, like sometimes like a slice of cheesecake every single day, things like that. And I thought I could kind of get away with it, but my gain started to really suffer, and I dropped to like something ridiculous like 20 knee push-ups again or something like that. So I said that I would try something totally new to get rid of all this extra weight that was kind of holding back my calisthenics, because obviously every extra pound you have is just another weight holding you back in literally every single exercise that you do. So what I decided to do was what worked for me in the past and try and modify it a bit to make it work even better. So inspired by some friends of mine online, I decided to try a proper ketogenic diet of less than 20 carbs digestible every single day. It really was not too easy to plan, and kind of expensive. But when you buy in bulk and you kind of approach it with a bit of experience, after a while it does get really easy. So right now it's just like autopilot for me. It worked really, really well. I think in the first week, you lose all the glycogen, water weight, and you even lose like a pound of fat or something like that. And I dropped like something like 4 kilos in a week, which is ridiculous. But man, oh man, and I thought like initially all the gains in strength I was getting were because I was just losing weight and they were getting easier. And I'm sure to a certain degree it was. But what I actually happened then was when my late weight teetered off, I still saw gains in strength over the weeks. So I have to presume that the diet is making me gain some kind of lean muscle mass as well, or at least some strength. So yeah, I'm a full-blown ketogenic guy now. It's been like nearly 4 weeks on the diet now, and I don't really plan on going back because so far I haven't had any kind of junk food, and I feel really, after the first 2 weeks you do feel kind of tired and a bit lethargic sometimes. At least I did, but now I feel like energetic and the workouts are going well and I recover better, and even my cardio is actually improving as well. So, okay, on to point two. I whenever I do the exercises, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I actually time it with a metronome to make sure that I always have the same amount of time under tension every single week. 2, 1, 2, right? So I'm really strict about doing 2 seconds up, second pause, and 2 seconds down. And I'm not sure if I mentioned that before, but I do find a lot of people when they do this program or they post videos, they just do not do it properly. They'll go 2 seconds up and kind of come down immediately, or they'll go too fast, or they'll spend 2 seconds resting in the fully extended position before they contract really quickly again. So this is just a really good way to measure progress in calisthenics, I think, where you really have to be very precise in how you set up the exercise every single week to make sure that it's the same difficulty and to make sure that you are progressing, right? The third point was that I started to read a lot about Pavel and the Naked Warrior and all his theories, and after looking at a few of his videos and hearing him talk a lot, I took a lot of the principles on board, and between workouts I've been doing a lot of greasing the groove on the exercises as well, which I'm not sure if it's helped, but my strength has kind of gone through the roof in the last month, and I attribute it to the diet, but I also attribute it to the grease the groove thing as well. It seems to be working really well. It's a really fun way to train, isn't it? Like, you just do exercises when you feel like it during the day. Before I was even scared to run up and down the stairs if I just exercise my legs because I thought, oh, I need to rest them, I'll use the elevator. but it's so stupid when you think about it like that. I mean, it's stupid. So this just kind of, if anything, it helps me recover as well and keeps the strength up. And it gives me a chance to do some overhand pull-ups as well as underhand, because like I have been neglecting the overhand in favour of the underhand, lately. So it's cool to have an excuse to work on overhand as well. Point four. Oh yeah, I totally negated the idea of a 7-day week and even a 6-day week now. I just exercise whenever I feel like I'm ready for it. There are some days when I did exercise 2 days in a row, some days where I would rest 1 day. I don't care about that anymore. I just exercise exactly when I feel like I'm ready for it. And it feels cool, Like I said, since starting keto in about a month ago, I have only had one exercise today where I didn't experience a strength gain. So these instincts of mine must be working out well, and the joints and everything feel good. So I'm gonna presume it's all working out well for me. Point five is that I took 2 weeks off in the last month because of a kind of a weird knee injury I had on my left leg. And after a lot of trips to the doctor and x-rays and blood tests, it turns out that it's probably uric acid buildup in the leg, which I wasn't sure why. I mean, it's usually genetic, gout, so, but nobody in my family has it. And also, the second most likely factor is sugar and alcohol. And I don't have either of them, ever, like never. I mean, maybe I did a few months ago, but not now. And it has been steadily feeling better the last while. But then somebody told me that actually this buildup of uric acid usually happens with the initial buildup of ketones in the body, and that it takes about 12 weeks to really level off. So it's only been 4 weeks, so I'm going to get another blood test in a month and see what the uric acid levels are like. Currently, last time they were 499, and they should be somewhere closer to 300 apparently. So I have a while to go down, but I still lowered my protein intake by about a third and got rid of sardines and the other high protein foods, which could kind of contribute to that, just to see if I can bring it down naturally without medication, to make sure that it was the diet and not actually some sort of problem I actually have. So I'll give an update on that now in a month with a new blood test. Hopefully it'll be good news. It should be, I think, because all my other medical tests were excellent, perfect, and I feel perfect. So it must be something to do with the ketones. So we'll see what happens there. I feel pretty confident it'll be good news though. Alright, point 6 was that I started to do my sprinting again. Just one time a week for like 7 minutes, like sprint, rest, sprint, rest, sprint, rest, sprint. And in the last 2 workouts I did, which are the first 2 I've done since deciding to exercise the legs again after the knee injury, I have gotten noticeably better in just the 1 week. And you do think like, oh, I should do cardio every day, and maybe that is true. I don't really know, but if I can get an increase in cardiovascular performance and an increase in my ability to run by doing 7 minutes a week, then I don't really want to go out and spend 30 minutes every day doing a light jog, been bored off my ass, sorry for the curse, and just giving myself bigger knee problems when I can just go out once a week and do a really, really fun cardio activity of this kind of, I want to build up to about a 12-minute sprint, but for now 7 is enough. I'm improving, so I'll keep that up now for another 2 weeks and then try and up the time as well. But I always hear that, I want to, this is about health as well, as the Convict Conditioning book says. I mean, all this stuff is meaningless qualities without health. So I do want to improve my heart muscle as well as much as I can. It seems to be working well so far, so I'll give an update on that in a month as well. And then, because of this whole keto thing, I decided that I'd actually just start a new channel on YouTube and just call it Keto Calisthenics to see how far that I can take bodyweight training on a ketogenic diet, and if it makes better or worse strength gains, or kind of a bit of a catchy name as well, Keto Calisthenics. Anyway, right, okay. onto the exercises, right? First off, I'll start with push-ups, I suppose. I last time I was stuck on knee push-ups, and kind of really frustrated and getting nowhere. But to cut a long story short now, I did my, well, not really. I can't really cut it short. Sorry. So I hit that big dip before doing keto, and then I slowly build up the reps one, week after week on keto the last while. And not every week, but every workout. Like I said, I didn't, I've been mixing up the workout weeks, and I kind of got to about 27, and I decided, to hell with this. I really need to break through this plateau. So I looked at this video of Pavel, and he was talking about like the best strength athletes in the world resting 10 minutes between sets. So I was like, screw this, I'm just resting 10, 15 minutes, 20, whatever it takes. So I rested, I think, 15 minutes and then 20 minutes, and did 3 sets of 30 pretty easily. And it was, man, oh man, it felt good to finally break through that bloody plateau and knee push-ups. And I didn't decide to rush to half push-ups like I did them about a week ago. And I just did the, 1 set of 15, just because I was feeling a bit tired and didn't want to push too hard the first time I was doing a full weighted push-up properly. And today I cranked out 2 sets of 25, which is the progression standard, pretty darn easily, if I'm being honest with you. So, but again, I don't want to progress too fast through them. So next time I'll move the basketball up closer to my chest when I do the push-up, and that way it'll be a bit lower next time as well. So push-ups are going really, really well. I think it'll be a big spike in difficulty though when I do go into full push-ups, because it should actually be really, really hard, I think, to do 25-second push-ups like that. I do think that's going to be a bit of a stickler for me. I think that'll be a long time before I get on to step 7, and start working on handstands and bridges with them. Pull-ups, fantastic news as well. I managed to get through jackknife pulls. A lot with greasing the groove, I think, helped me a lot, because when I did grease the groove, it not only gave me the kind of neuromuscular recruitment necessary, but it also helped me perfect the technique to use my legs to help me more in the bottom position, especially because 3 sets of 20 of any kind of pull-ups is asking a lot, right? So I do think you need to work on the technique properly to really learn how to use your legs to help you in that, to really get through it. I mean, when I finally did progress past it, I got 20, 20, 27 in the last set, just to see how far I could go. And what actually gave out first wasn't my lats or my legs or my biceps, it was actually my grip strength. So I stopped before I fell off the bloody pole, because my pole is actually really, really high off the ground. I customized one in my room to I could just show you actually. There it is there. I drilled a hole into the wall, which isn't really good for my deposit, but I don't really care, because hardcore exercise people and all that, screw it, be down, do the pull-ups, wreck your apartment if you have to. Just get the damn workout done. But I've only had one proper exercise on half pull-up so far, and I was like, oh god, please, get beginner standard at least, or I'll have to go back to jackknife pulls again, which I was working on for 2 months. But still, 2 months is not a long time really when you consider some people, I think, spend anything up to 6 months on those, which I could imagine doing if you really, really wanted to squeeze everything out of it and use your legs like the smallest amount possible. But I just didn't really want to do that, so I managed to get beginner standards 11, intermediates 2 sets of 11, and progressions 2 sets of 15. So I got 11.8 there the first time. So hopefully next time now I'll get something like 13.11 or something, and maybe by the next update I could be doing full pull-ups hopefully. Still doing the underhand grip as well, because as I said, I just think it's going to help me more when I get to the later exercises. But I still always finish every workout with an overhand set, just to give the lats some kind of, to make sure they don't forget the old strength they had, basically. Right, so that's good news on pull-ups. With leg raises, biggest hurdle actually for me, to be honest. I'm still on step 4 in that. But as I said, I lost like 2 weeks, and I kind of took a while to build up the strength again. And this, as I said, this is the first time ever on keto so far that I've actually dropped strength this week in leg raises. And I'm attributing it, I went from 25 20:15 or something to like 23:16 today. But I think it's because number one, I sprinted yesterday, which was hard on the quads. Number two, I did push-ups before the leg raises, and actually I was focusing so hard on keeping my body rigid that afterwards my quads were really sore. And there was a third reason as well why I think I didn't do so great. Oh yeah, because I started doing really hard squatting again, and I think that it's still taking a while to recover properly from that. I'm not used to it yet. So I think next time I will do them before push-ups. I won't sprint, and I should be able to hopefully get 2 sets of 25 at least. I think I should be able to. I was working a lot on technique in that as well. So it's actually kind of surprising. I thought that leg raises would be kind of easier than pull-ups, but it turns out that I seem to be doing better in pull-ups so far than leg raises. But as I said, I think that's going to change in the next workout when I have properly approached the exercise with recovery and all. So then the last one is squats. I was really careful to build up after, obviously because of the knee, and when I finally built back up to doing them without any pain or any kind of discomfort, I just could not do the basketball squats. I know. I know I said that I was looking forward to them and that they might be fun, but my God, they're horrible. I mean, I don't know that anybody in the history of humanity has ever done a basketball squat like that before they have done a pistol squat. Like, it requires such a high level of flexibility in the hamstrings and the legs, and it forces the body to go backwards, which makes it really hard to balance forward. I mean, the biggest problem with pistols is that beginners will just fall backwards, and this amplifies that problem hugely. And as well as that, the actual exercise in the book, which was pointed out by someone on Dragon Doors, which is really interesting actually, it never describes the exercise the way it's pictured in the book. It never says to straighten out your leg. I tried these on skateboards to bring it as low as possible to the ground, and I still never have the strength to lift myself back up with the two legs, with one of them fully extended. So I thought, God, this just isn't working. Like, it might work for Paul Wade and prison athletes, but like, everyone's different, and you have to find your own path through these progressions. So I thought, what's the really good way to progress to level 8, which is half one-legged squats? And I thought, I'll do what Pavel does, So I got like a level, which is, if this is my leg, right, and this is as low as the quad needs to be parallel to the ground, right? I found something where I sit down like this, which is just my bed basically, and I keep under tension, and I come up again on one foot, right? And in the last exercise, I nearly doubled in strength. I went from 5 squats per single leg to 8 squats, and then I did assisted pistols in the doorway to make sure I get the full range of motion as well. And then I did lowered myself to the ground, and I did extending one leg out in front of the other, practicing the end pistol position just for balance mostly. And initially I couldn't even stand on my right leg, but in the second session then I was able to switch between legs for like 10 seconds at least. So there's huge progress in the legs in just one workout. I was really happy with that. So as soon as I can kind of get that strength up, I'm just going to jump. As soon as I can do one-legged squats parallel to the floor, I'm just skipping to step 8. It just makes far more sense. So yeah, that's it. I caved on the squats, but whatever, as he says, Paul Wade, be your own coach. So that's what I'm doing, finding my own path through these progressions. I know I said I'd try and religiously follow this, and I am doing my best, but on even squats, the way it is pictured in the book, I think it's ridiculous. It's just never gonna work for 99.9999999% of people. If someone out there has actually successfully done a basketball squat like that before, a pistol squat, I think you're as rare as someone who has accomplished a one-handed handstand push-up, which is pretty much 0. Right? So that's everything. Right, okay, I will update again in 1 month's time, and hopefully I have a lot of good news, especially with leg raises, because I really am hungry to get onto bridge and handstand work. Step 7, here I come. Thanks everyone, bye.